All right, I can't believe this. The news just broke. Jon Jones is out of the massive title fight against Stipe Micoic. You've probably seen the news. It is all over, all the websites, Instagram pages, it's everywhere. The greatest heavyweight title fight in the history of the UFC is no longer happening. Such a shame. Jon Jones, the GOAT, against the heavyweight GOAT. Not going to happen. You've probably seen it. You've probably seen the video. Jon Jones was training, went for a double leg, and apparently he's torn the tendon which attaches the pec to the bone or something like that. Regardless, Jon Jones right now, at the moment I'm filming this, is in surgery. He's in the hospital. He's under the knife. He's getting fixed. So he will be back. And apparently that fight is still going to go down next year. Dana White said 8 or 9 months out.
He tore the tendon that connects your pec to the bone, off the bone. 8 months, gonna need surgery, he's out.
That probably lines up for International Fight Week next year. So that will be a massive fight for International Fight Week, but at Madison Square Garden, UFC 295, that will not be happening. And I, for one, am extremely sad. We all wanted to see that fight. Everyone that bought tickets, they wanted to see that fight. The problem is, Jon Jones is no spring chicken. Obviously, he fought Cyril Gane. He had a tremendous performance. He reminded the world of his greatness and who he is and what he's capable of. But before that, he had 3 years away from the sport. And now, one fight, that was about 6 months ago, 7 months ago, and now he's going to need another 9 months off. So he's going to be 37, almost 38 years old by the time he returns. And on the flip side, Stipe Micoic, he hasn't fought in about 3 years either. So the greatest heavyweight fight that we've ever seen, that we're ever going to have, is now going to be delayed. Both men are going to be even older. So that's the bad news. Jon Jones, rest up. I have tremendous respect for the career that he's had. He is the greatest of all time. Yes, there's others. There's Anderson Silva. There's George St. Pierre. There's Khabib Nurmagomedov. But Jon Jones probably is the GOAT. I'm open to suggestions, though. I'm open to hearing your arguments. But Jon Jones, Stipe, not happening. Fortunately, the UFC is such a juggernaut. We just saw what happened with Alexander Volkanovski and Islam Makhachev. We also saw Kamaru Usman step up on 10 days' notice as well. They pulled it out the bag, and they've done it once again. As you've probably seen by now, TOM ASPINALL, he's stepping up, short notice, going up against Sergei Pavlovich. That will be the co-main event at Madison Square Garden, and that will be for the interim heavyweight title. I cannot wait. I said a long time ago, TOM ASPINALL is one to watch. He's something special. The way that he moves, the ability, the agility, the well-roundedness, the striking, the wrestling, the jiu-jitsu. He's the total package. And then on top of that, he's probably one of the most humble human beings you're ever going to meet. But being humble, that's all well and good. That means you're going to train hard. It doesn't necessarily win your fights. What wins your fights is putting people to sleep. And that's what his opponent, Sergei Pavlovich, does inside the very first round. One shot from this guy, and you're going to sleep. So TOM ASPINALL is going to have to be on his A game. Sergei Pavlovich, other than his UFC debut, I think it was, where he had a loss against Alistair Overeem. Overeem took him down, got on top of him, finished him with ground and pound. Beautiful stoppage. Other than that, he's sailed through it. He's breezed through it. He's knocked everyone out. He's almost knocked them through the canvas floor. That's how hard he hits. Curtis Blades, Derek Lewis, Tai Tuivasa, all big hitters, all big men, all good heavyweights with big knockout power. They tried to test themselves against Sergei Pavlovich, and they fell short. They fell down. They fell down unconscious. That's the power. This is a compelling matchup. Yes, I'm devastated, Jon Jones. It was shocking news. Let me tell you, the wrestling side of things, that's the hardest part about this sport. I'm telling you, the wrestling side of things is ridiculous. All of my injuries, other than my eye, they all came from wrestling because it's two big, strong human beings and you're toing and throwing. You're going in weird angles. You got two people's body weights. You go down, you twist the knee, you tear your pec, you do your neck in. That's how I've done my neck. You can probably see the scar here. I had to have a titanium plate put in my neck. Still living neck pain every day. That's because I was wrestling. I picked someone up. I got the takedown, but I smacked my head on the ground. Almost knocked myself out. I had terrible neck pain for years and years and years before I had the surgery. My knees, that started off wrestling with George St. Pierre way back 2006, when I was getting ready for The Ultimate Fighter. I was wrestling, I went for a takedown, smacked my knee on the ground. 1 week before my Ultimate Fighter finale fight, tore my posterior cruciate ligament. But I still went on and fought, because, just messing. Jon Jones, there's no way he can fight with that kind of injury. So rest up. We will get that fight next year. I'm guessing probably International Fight Week. And Jon Jones is far from done. And I also feel for Stipe Micoic. 2 weeks out, and Jon Jones. 2 weeks out, a massive fight, a huge payday at Madison Square Garden, and Stipe doesn't get to fight through no fault of his own. So, Madison Square Garden, though, the new main event is Alex Pereira versus JIri Prochazka. That's for the light heavyweight title, and that is going to be a ridiculous fight. We'll do a breakdown on that nearer the time. That fight's going to be ridiculous. It really is. Two explosive, wild strikers with knockout power and absolute warrior spirits. In the co-main event, as we know, TOM ASPINALL. Now, I'll say this. I'm not going out there and I'm not disrespecting Sergei Pavlovich. I said a while ago, Jon Jones couldn't hold a candle to TOM ASPINALL. And that upset a lot of people. And maybe I was hyping up Tom. Maybe it was recency bias because of the beautiful performance he just had against Marcin Tybura. But what we saw against Marcin Tybura, the man, he was so light on his feet. He was in, he was out, boom, boom. The knockout power was ridiculous, okay? But it was the lightness of his feet. I said he looked like Muhammad Ali out there. And that's what he's going to need to do here. Because if he just walks Sergei Pavlovich down and thinks I'll trade, I'll just throw down, I'll have a tear up, he might get knocked out. And he hasn't come this far to get knocked out in his interim title fight. His dad, Andy Aspinall, has been in his corner the whole time, okay? So they're going to have a great strategy. I think it will be a lot of in and out, wrestle. As I said, Alistair Overeem caught a kick, if I remember correctly, forced him down to the octagon, and from there went to work with the ground and pound. I think Tom's going to feint him, trick him into thinking it's going to be a stand-up fight. As I said, a lot of in and out movement, a lot of feints, boom, boom, lots of jabs, in and out, step in, bang, bang, then level change, and then go for the takedown. I believe if it hits the ground, Tom Aspinall's on another level. But on the feet, it's very, very dangerous the entire time. Sergei has that kind of ridiculous knockout power. Yes, Tom has power. Of course it is. We saw that beautiful 1-2 straight down the pipe that he hit Marcin Tybura with. But if we're going to pick someone with the real knockout power, of which Tom does have, Sergei's is far more impressive. And I'm not talking shit about Tom. I'm just saying that big Russian, he can crack. He can knock people out. So it's a shame. It is. Rest up to Jon. Stipe Micoic, I really feel for that guy. But I'm really happy for Tom Aspinall. I believe this was his destiny. And a funny thing is, I took a title fight on short notice against Luke Rockhold, and I'm not making this about me. I'm just drawing a comparison. I took it on about the same notice, which is kind of weird. Me and Tom are from the same neck of the woods, right? He's just about 30 minutes from where I live, where I'm from, and it was about 2 and a bit weeks. Tom is taking this on 2 and a bit weeks. Now, as we know, Tom, when he fought Curtis Blades, blew his knee out. And he had a fair bit of time away from the octagon. He had to have a surgery. But when he came back, he said, I'm a new beast. I'm a new animal. He realized how much he missed this sport when he had that time away. So now he's not drinking. He's training every day. So yes, this is short notice in terms of when the fight's taking place. But it's not short notice in terms of preparation. Because Tom is so disciplined. He's always training. He's got his dad there cracking the whip every day. He's getting better. He's got great teammates. His grappling, everything is all being taken to the next level. His strength and conditioning, his flexibility, his speed work. He's doing it all. And the winner of this one, well, I thought would have got to face Jon Jones. But that's not fair on Stipe. So the winner of this one, I assume, will face the winner of Jon Jones versus Stipe Micoic. It was always a tough fight for Stipe. It was, because Stipe's not getting any younger, okay? I think he's 42. Don't quote me on that. I haven't done my research, Dominic Cruz. Did you do your research?
All I'm wishing is that we had a mute button.
I think he's 42, okay? Now, as heavyweights, they can fight to that age. But you're starting to slow down. The training camps get harder. The recovery takes longer. And when the recovery takes longer, You can't push yourself as hard in training the next day. So you're not getting as many gains. Jon Jones was younger. So I would have favored Jon, with respect to Stipe, to maybe win that fight, okay? Track record has shown Jon Jones hasn't really lost a fight. UFC were marketing him as undefeated. And of course, he has the disqualification loss to Matt Hamill. But in my mind, and I'm sure your minds, if you're fair, the man's undefeated, okay? It was a disqualification from a stupid rule, you know? If that was a disqualification, Johnny Walker versus Magomed Ankalaev last week at UFC 294, that should have been a disqualification. But still, regardless of who it is, Jones and Stipe, when they win, bearing in mind, it's going to be almost 8-9 months, call it a year later. Stipe will maybe be 43 then. If he's 42, don't quote me on that, as I said. So if Jones wins, Tom Aspinall versus Sergei Pavlovich will then step up to the plate, fight Jon Jones. And the good news for both men is this. When they go out there to New York City, whoever wins that fight, they become the interim champ. So then when they fight Jon Jones or they fight Stipe, they will get pay-per-view points. And if that's going to be the last time Stipe fights or the last time that Jon Jones fights, that's going to be a massive, massive pay-per-view. Certainly if it's International Fight Week. So Sergei Pavlovich, Tom Aspinall, they have a lot at stake here. They have a lot to fight for. Of course, being a champion is one thing. Being the interim champion, of course, it's an incredible thing. But then also, when they get to challenge for the undisputed belt, they're getting pay-per-view points, which obviously you normally have to become the champion to acquire. So we're talking a multi-million-dollar payday for either man. So destiny, okay? We've got legacy on the line. And we've also got millions of dollars in future paydays, the chance to be a legend, and of course, join a list of the very short list of heavyweight champs. So there it is, UFC 296, quite the shake-up. I just spoke to somebody here, as I said, at the UFC. Jon Jones is in surgery right now, so I hope that all goes well. I'm sure it is. I'm sure the UFC have him with the best doctors that money can buy. Have a great recovery. Good luck with all of that. Come back bigger, better, stronger. And Stipe, I'm sure you're super frustrated. I really am. My thoughts are with you as well. So best of luck to both men. Enjoy the fights. You know, they're going to be watching this. Of course they are. But who do you think wins this one? Sergei Pavlovich, Tom Aspinall. I'm not saying I'm biased, but I know Tom, right? I'm good mates with Tom, so I can't lie. So I've got Tom Aspinall winning this. However, that's not my official prediction. I will do a breakdown and we'll look at some of their strengths and weaknesses as the fight gets a little bit closer. So as you can see, I'm here at the gym at the UFC Apex. I was just at the Performance Institute earlier, did some cardio, had a little roll with Alan Joban, did a bit of jiu-jitsu, lifted some weights, got in the ice bath, got in the sauna. I'm feeling great, and I'm here, and I'm going to be calling the Power Slap event in just a few hours. So I got to go. Tom Aspinall, Sergei Pavlovich, best of luck to both men. Talk about seizing the opportunity. A lot of people would say, I'm not taking an interim title fight on short notice because I want to train for that. I want to have 8 weeks. I want to get ready. But as I said on Twitter, when these opportunities arise, when the opportunity knocks, are you man enough to open the fucking door? Are you man enough to say, yes, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to roll the dice. I believe in myself. Because for both men, yes, it's 2.5 weeks notice, but this is a lifetime of work, okay? Ideally, you want a full training camp because you want to be the optimal version of yourself. But do you believe in yourself enough to step in there, short notice, to say that, hey, I can be the best heavyweight on the planet. Give me the interim title fight. I'm going to win that. And then I'm going to show the world and I'm going to beat the winner of Jones and Stipe. It's a hell of a gamble. It's a hell of a story. And hopefully this was a hell of a video. Subscribe and ring the bell. I better get to work. I'm starving. It's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I haven't eaten a damn thing yet. I'm fasting. I'm trying to slim down. You guys take care. And let's go. Tom and Sergei, have a great fight. Oh, and Pereira and JIri Prochazka. The Samurai is back. I'm looking forward to that one as well. It's a stacked card from top to bottom. Let's go. Maybe I'll see you in New York. Take it easy, guys.